Fun talk, good talk, mom and dad talk, even baby talk. Arrow.net. ARROE.net. Let's do it. Let's play it forward. These are real people with real stories. The struggle to play it forward. Episode number 310 is with comedians Tim Counts, Mel Ratliff, and Sonny Goodwin.
How are you? What you got going on?
Oh, I've just been talking to famous people all day.
Oh, now you got to come talk to us local.
Yeah, that's right.
I wish I were famous.
How do you know you're not?
Well, we'll know by the end of this conversation, huh?
That's funny.
What's happening?
Hey, there you are. What's going on with you?
Man, we're just moving right along here, man. Having some fun, getting back out in the comedy world, and that's pretty much it, man. You've been hanging in there pretty well.
You know, it's always one step at a time. You know, every day is a brand new adventure, and you just, I live by a new mantra, which is, I don't have a job, I have an opportunity. You know, it's
That's amazing.
and
Yes.
you just keep growing, because it's like when everything stopped, we all took a big breath and said, "Wow, that was kind of interesting."
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I think there was some good stuff that came out of that as well, actually. I mean, I know it was a big downer for the whole country, and especially entertainment and stuff, but I think we all learned a couple of valuable lessons out of there. I think it brought the family back together. I think it taught people they could stay home and have dinner, and they could hang out on their back porches and get to know each other. So, we take that we got from the COVID deal and apply it to coming back out, and maybe we come out, not maybe, we do. We come out of this stronger, more solidified and better off. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah, that's one of the things that that's interesting that you say that about, how we all came together and stuff like that. That was, my wife and I got to spend lunch and dinner together. And so after everything started opening up again, I was right in my daily writing. I'd put, I long for those days. I want my wife back for lunch. And then unexpectedly she retired. And so now we're back to having lunch and dinner and stuff like that again. So it's like, but I don't know how I would have reacted if we didn't have that year to practice.
So you got to take it for a test ride just to make sure.
Yeah, that's right.
That's cool. There's Mel Ratliff right there. Arrow, you probably remember Mel from the last time we came out and saw you a couple of years ago, huh?
Yeah, you were in the actual studio. There were 3 people.
Yep. There's another guy.
Yeah. So now, how has it changed for you with comedy? I mean, it's you were just talking about that a couple of seconds ago, that you're trying to get back out on the road again and stuff like that. I mean, are people willing to laugh now? Is it real laughter, or is it like a golf clap?
That's a very good. Well, it depends on the joke, I suppose. But that's a good question. I think that the laughter's real. I think that after we're going on a year and a half, a little over a year and a half of lockdown, I think that everybody's ready to get back out and laugh. And I believe that they are not going to be maybe as uptight and everything as they were in the past.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, because I mean, the thing is, because I work over there at Teeter, and the thing is that I'm physically in front of people like you guys are with comedy. In radio, it's 4 walls and me in a room. So to be in front of people and to hear them laugh and to hear them respond, my God, I'm jealous of you guys.
I can't wait for that energy to come back.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like it.
So now, I know that you guys have had a year to put this show together. Did you practice over the year, or what happened? Because, I mean, to be on the Comedy Zone stage, holy crap, guys.
Mel?
I was going to say, yeah, it's a little bit terrifying. We actually only got back together and started practicing the last couple of months because we were still being very cautious and very respectful of, the COVID restrictions and each other's safety and things like that. And we've done some practices over Zoom before that, and it's just not quite the same. So we were really looking forward to getting back in person and practicing with each other as well.
Mark Maron said that you have to learn how to work that comedy muscle, that it doesn't just instantly come back to you. You've got to learn what to pause and everything like that. And when do you say something? Are you saying it too fast? I mean, are you guys going through that too?
Oh, for sure. And I would say for me personally, probably one of the hardest things is accents. Like my accents are super rusty compared to where they were when we were practicing regularly and having shows like every month. But you do start to question yourself, but it's been fun, and we're very supportive of each other. So it's been great to practice again together and to be there in person and doing things.
One thing that we hear about all the time, and I know Sonny gets this a lot as well, is people kind of give me a hard time for practicing improv.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's really hard to practice something that should come, straight from your head to the people that are in front of you.
Yeah, and the thing is that to your point, Arrow, it puts off that if you're standing next to her, you better be ready for it. Because you can feel that energy is coming, and it sucks you in and makes you a better player, and it makes for a better show.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you guys can be friends now.
He's not called Sonny for nothing.
Now, Tim, what did you learn as a martial artist that puts you up on a stage where you're confident to be able to trust in that kind of action?
Well, I'll tell you, and I don't know I don't even know if Mel and Sonny know this, but me and Arrow met doing Taekwondo and Hapkido a bunch of years ago. We were the two older guys in the class that were really into it. And you know what? I'll tell you, one of the biggest things I learned out of that, Arrow, honestly, is going out on those, what am I trying to say? The testing days. When I'm the 45-year-old guy at the time going out there testing for my yellow belt with little 9-year-olds and stuff. Man, if that doesn't get you past your self-conscious, worried about what people think about you, nothing will. Oh, and then when you do it in the middle school gym, and there's like 150 people there.
Oh, yeah.
And you're sparring a 14-year-old girl. Yeah.
But I want to ask, were your parents there to support?
Yeah, there you go.
Were they in the stands, like cheering you on, hoping that you beat the 14-year-old girl?
Mel, truth be told, you've met my parents, and yes, they were. My dad even took me out for ice cream after I got my which one was it? My green belt.
Yeah, I'll never forget one of the tricks or at least I played when I would go to these Taekwondo tournaments, is that those people had no idea who I was as an older guy, and I didn't know anything about them. So I would go over and just watch their breathing pattern. And if they were breathing from their chest, that meant they were tired. If they were breathing from their stomach, my butt was going to get kicked.
100%. And I'll tell you another thing is it really did help me become more aware of what another person is doing, reading reading their body, reading their eyes and that kind of stuff. And that helps out in improv, because anyone can see our faces, but if I'm talking and I see Sonny go,
yeah,
I know he has no idea what I'm talking about, and we're screwed.
Well, and I'd like to add one thing, and I don't think they know this, like one trick that I use with performing, I listen for the laughter. So if the laughter gets higher, then I know I'm going in the right direction. If I don't hear the laughter, then I know I need to switch something up. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't really see faces, but I listen.
It's absolutely.
Because that's a bit different for me, Sonny, is that like I don't hear the audience at all. Like I don't see them, I don't hear them. Like I'm in a zone. Like I'm so hyper focused on listening intently to what my partners are saying, so that I can react. I can react honestly and and authentically to what they're saying. That like it's like we're in a room and nobody else is there. Like I really don't hear it.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is in radio. I mean, it's like you don't get to hear anybody laugh. You set yourself up, you deliver a line, and then you hope to God the red line doesn't ring with the boss on the other side.
So it's kind of like an improv practice where you get done with it and go, well, I thought it was funny.
That was funny. So surely the audience would have laughed, right?
Well, and taking that one step further, I'll tell you something that's funny with me is I know I did a good show when I really don't remember it, to be honest with you. I mean, yes, I remember the show. It's not like I blacked out, but it's but I don't remember the step-by-step performance of the show, because it's just, you're so into it, like Mel said. listening and paying attention and being in the moment, so you can create this story literally out of nothing, out of a word. We're creating this thing. And when I get done, if I don't remember step by step, I know I was in it and I had a good show.
Well, Master Harris
knows to come to me and ask me what happened.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Mel's around, because she remembers everything, and I do mean everything.
Master Harris used to tell us all the time that he used to tell us all the time that there's no such thing as muscle memory. But with what you just shared, that's absolutely muscle memory.
Yeah.
No, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have an excellent memory. I can remember things from when I was 2 years old, but when I do improv, I can't remember anything I do. It's like it's therapy. It's like get it all out, feel better, and then go somewhere else. And people always remind, you remember when you did such and such? And I'm like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah, so true.
This really is of all the things that I've done or do, and I don't mean there's a whole bunch of them, but I'm just saying of all of my experience, being in an improv scene is the most in the moment and present I've ever been and ever am, because and I know that sounds dramatic, but it's really true. There's only so much you can do, and if we could apply that focus to other aspects of our life, just think what it could be like, Mel.
No, I agree. You're so focused, and you really are just in the moment, enjoying everything that's happening.
Comedian David A. Arnold. Well, we were together last week, and we were talking about building comedy, and especially when it comes to these network specials and stuff like that, or on Netflix. And he says that no comedian can call themselves a comedian unless you've learned the art of bombing.
Oh, 100%.
Can I talk about the time I bombed?
Yes,
in an improv game.
That one time.
It wasn't, but it was in the beginning. Me and another improviser were on stage, and we went so far left. I wish they had that hook thing that they used to have. Because I wish they had that. Because I started talking about slavery. He started talking about the Holocaust. Neither one of them were funny, and we couldn't get out of it. We just didn't know how to get out of it. So yeah, that was that time.
Yeah,
That was fun.
Yeah. I'm very familiar with the sounds of crickets and tumbleweeds too. Man, let me tell you something. When you in stand-up world, you write a joke, you're like, oh man, this is gonna be good, right? Or in improv, you see one coming, you're like, man, I'm knocking this out of the park, and you think you got it, and everybody's just like, you'll hear what you'll hear.
Yeah.
It's a good old sympathy laugh.
Check.
Now, what
Let me tell you about one of my best moments in improv. When we were with another group, we would always greet the guests before they came in, and so I'm being bubbly and I'm talking to this nice man and his date, his person that was with him, and I'm like just joking around, and he was like, don't quit your day job. So in my mind, I was like, okay, so I'm going to kill him by making him laugh to death. Yeah. And so after the show, he came up to me and he was like so apologetic. And he came to every show after that.
That's good.
That's awesome.
That's the best way to show them.
Yeah.
Now, I've always been a solo act in radio, and I don't know the reason why, except to say that it's like I don't trust other people on the performance. How is it that you guys have learned to trust each other?
I was just going to say that with Tim and I, from our when our first class together, Tim thought I hated him.
He did.
I didn't hate you. It's just that I'm a very private person, so I just don't talk to people I don't know. And so even with because it was my second improv class, and there was another guy who was in the class with me who had been in the class I had previously, and so I was tight with him, but I didn't know the other people, so I just don't really talk to them. But it was funny when I found that out, because I was like, no, Tim, I like you. And he's like, well, really? You don't talk to me? I was like, I don't talk to anybody. Do you not pay attention?
No, I don't.
But ever since that moment, like it's funny, like we almost have a brother and sister chemistry. I trust him 100%. Like I don't think he's ever going to do anything on stage that's gonna embarrass me or leave me out on my own or make me upset. And at the same, I mean, I've run and leapt at him. He did almost drop me once to the point where my stepdad leapt out of his seat to try and catch me. But I clutched on for dear life and did not bang my head on the cement. So
I thought we were past that. No, that was, yeah. It's, I'll tell you, and that's where the practice comes into play too, because the more practice and the more reps that you do, the more trust you have. And with Sonny and Mel, I can't say that there was a moment that the switch flipped. I never didn't trust anyone, but the trust has grown to the point where I have no fear of failure working with these two ladies, because I know if I don't have something, if I'm stuck, I don't know where to go, I don't have to panic. I can just kind of hang out a little bit. And what I mean by hang out a little bit is just continue the scene and relax. And one of these ladies is going to come in and pick it up and save me. I know that. And like Mel said, I know neither one of these ladies is ever going to, I mean, make me the butt of all the jokes. Yes, that's the job, the character, and making it funny. But none of them are leaving Tim Counts out to dry for the sake of doing that, or even accidentally. It's just not going to happen.
So now, is that all based on? Is that all based on? You can hear it in their voice, or are you making a facial expression that says "pick me up"?
It's just a flow, man. It's that's the thing why improv comedy has got to be live and in person, I firmly believe, because there's an energy there. There's an energy of the people being physically present that I know I can feel it on stage. And you just know. Yeah, there's not like a secret fraternity high sign, but I'm pretty sure Sonny can look at me and go, "Ooh, Tim needs some help."
Well, I was gonna say too, the brilliant thing about the type of improv that we're doing, the mid-form, long form, is that it can really build. So it's okay if you're not getting laugh after laugh after laugh, because that's more of a short form style. And so because of that, we have more patience, and we do go slower, and we can allow the funny to build. And so there's not that immediate panic either, that like, oh my God, no one's laughing, because we know it's going to come, because it's all building towards that. Yeah. And I think because of that, the laughter that we do get is more genuine and it's deeper. And I think that people really enjoy that.
So now can you
so
jump?
When I'm speaking and no one's laughing, just remember I'm building.
Speaking of building, what is this particular? I mean, it's a collection of several different stories, isn't it? Your performance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They're all going to be made up on the spot. So,
oh my God!
I mean, like there's, we'll get a word from the audience, or maybe we'll get a location or an emotion or a situation, and then we just develop from there.
And it's not Tim and Mel and Sonny on stage. It's any number of different characters on stage. We can play multiple characters in one little play. Sonny and I might be married and Mel's our daughter. And then we could turn around and I could be Sonny's granddad, or she could be a police officer and I'm the person that's getting arrested. I mean, anything that we think of, we jump into those characters. So they're all very distinct, I hope. So everybody can tell what's what. But we'll literally get a word from the audience and create out of nothing, a 20-minute play, a couple of different scenes, locations. And, the pressure's on, but man, it's great pressure. It's a whole lot of fun.
We could do a little a one-word thing for you right now, where you give us a word and the three of us will just do something if you'd like.
Oh God,
no, we talked about this.
That's like looking at a comedian saying, "Tell me a joke, man. Tell me a joke." That's kind of weird.
That's exactly right.
You think you're funny? Tell me a joke, man.
Yeah.
Well, what's even better is when they go, "Hey, man, I got this joke for you.
Oh God,
you can use it."
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's like
your little show.
Yeah.
People will always come up to me and say, I want to get into radio because everybody thinks I have a good voice. I'm thinking, you think that's what is going to get you a job in radio? It doesn't work that way, man.
Exactly right. There's so much more to it.
It doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Like, it would be bad if I had an awful voice.
Well, it's got to be comedy and radio are one and the same in the way that the dedication, the passion, the drive, and when you do kind of slip up and fall, you've got to pick yourself back up again
Quickly. Well, and two, not only that, man, but it's not to get too far out there, but it's spoken word art. Your art is creating things with words, and in improv there's some visual as well, but the vast majority of it is your words, and I think that's words are I mean, obviously very important, but I think the more people that can get comfortable painting pictures and creating things with their words, I just think everything gets better that way. And you're on the spot every time you get on the air, man. You're not writing anything.
Well, I practice by doing a thing that I call stream thinking, and basically the exercise that I do on a daily basis is I put myself in front of a sheet of paper. I've got 10 minutes to write. There's absolutely no editing. You can talk about it at the end, but during those 10 minutes, it's whatever is happening in that now.
Wow.
That's cool. Pretty cool.
Do you keep a collection of them?
Of course I do. In fact, I turned it into a podcast.
These were my 10 minutes of thoughts today.
Oh my God!
Right.
I'll tell you what. That's the kind of stuff that's really pulling in the big numbers. Is the fact that it's like what Kevin Hart said when he was talking to Miss Pat, and he says, "What I like about you, Miss Pat, is you found your voice. You found your voice. A comedian cannot be funny until they find their voice." Do you guys agree with that?
100%.
I agree.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Because I think the three of us have different ways of bringing out our funny, but we're learning how to make them go together. It's like a great meal. You can have several dishes that complement one another.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the dessert, Sonny? That's what I want to know.
Me.
I thought I was the dessert.
Oh, this chocolate boy, come on. I told you.
That's awesome. All right, so when is the show and how can people get tickets?
Okay, the show, we have one show that's on our first debut at the Charlotte Comedy Zone is going to be Wednesday, September 29th, a couple of days, 7 to 8:30 p.m. And those tickets can be purchased online at the Comedy Zone website. You just go to tickets and you'll see the Mel and Tim logo on there. We also have a show on October 20th at the Comedy Zone and November 10th at the Comedy Zone as well.
No, not November 10th.
I thought it was.
November 17th, I believe.
No, it's the 10th. It's the 10th.
Is it the 10th? Did it get moved?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, this is the lady that remembers everything, Arrow.
Well, I apparently didn't move it in my calendar because on my calendar
that's
it. The 17th.
But yeah, you can just Google search Charlotte Comedy Zone, go to the Charlotte Comedy Zone website. You can pick up tickets there. They're $10 in advance, $15 the night of the show. For folks that don't know, Charlotte Comedy Zone is a full-on comedy venue. I believe it's the largest on the East Coast outside of New York and Atlanta. I'm pretty sure it's that big. And, you can go out and get dinner, drinks, have a great time at the show. And it's all good, man. We love to see everybody out there that we can. It's time to get back out and laugh, not take things so seriously anymore. It's a great break. And if we can have folks come see us and walk out even in just a little better mood than they were when they came in, our mission is accomplished for the evening as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. A lot of I've talked with a lot of the comedians that have performed there, and what they love about the Comedy Zone, are you ready? The fact that there's a Mexican restaurant above and then the ceiling is low. They love that about that because because the acoustics are just absolutely phenomenal.
And those tacos are good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, they can also, folks can find us on Facebook at Mel and Tim Improv. That's MELAND TIM IMPROV.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, we are at Mel_and_Tim. It's very, very creative.
All right, now for the
Mel and Tim,
For the comedians and stuff like that are listening, those that that are still maybe the funny people that are still in the closet. Did you reach out to Joel Pace to put all this in, or how do you get on that stage?
Well, the biggest thing you can do to get on the stage is to go to Joel Pace at the Comedy Zone. There's some links on the Comedy Zone website. There are Debbie Millwater, I believe, still does some comedy events out there, like the Fight Night and different competitions during the week. Biggest thing to do is to get out there and get on an open mic at the Comedy Zone. Let them know you're there. Let them see you. Let them see you making people laugh. And if that goes well, you'll start getting into the rotation out there. They like to bring new people in. I don't want to say it's not hard, because that's not true. You have to be talented and you have to be good at your craft, but they are very inviting and very open to talking to new talent and bringing new talent in,
I love it. Man, you guys have got to come back to this show again in the future. The door is always going to be open for you. Just don't take 2 years to get here.
Errol, I promise. And be careful what you say, man. I might just be there tomorrow. You need a sidekick? I'll be your sidekick.
I have trust issues, remember?
I'm on Podcast World.
Yeah, when are you guys going to create your own podcast?
That's a good question. And if only we knew someone who knew how to do it that wouldn't mind helping us.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who that for someone is.
I don't know.
You guys are brilliant.
But man, this has been great, and thanks for having us on. We will come back anytime, man. You know what would be cool is then I'm just throwing this at you because I know you can edit it out if you don't like it. But one thing that would be cool, man, is we could get on and for one episode of your show, we could just do an improv. There's a thing called the bat, which is like there's no visual to it at all.
Right.
It's literally all words. We could get a get from you and take off and see what we can come up with, man.
Absolutely, we could do that. I could bring over the Zoom L8, and then it's got like 8 different pots and all that kind of stuff. It's a great piece of equipment. Then this way we can get some awesome, super quality sound.
Very cool.
Very, very good, man.
And Tim, I know before you were going to explain that it's Mel and Tim, but it's not just the two of us. Did you want to continue?
Yeah, I do. When we first got back, and I know we're pushing it here, but I'll just keep talking here. You don't mind. When we first decided to get back together, it was me and Mel, and we were going to do a 2-person show. And we came up with our logo, and we started talking about it, and we started looking for venues and stuff. And as we started playing, as we started practicing, we decided and realized very quickly that we missed some people, and we missed having other people in the show. So David Hutto will be with us. He's not here today because he's a superhero by day. I don't know what he does. But then we called Sonny. And Sonny, one of the best improv comedians in the area, without a doubt, who we know from other casts that we were involved. She was gracious enough to join us. So this isn't the Mel and Tim show with Sonny Goodwin. It's all of us, and the name just happens to be Mel and Tim, and today it is. We'll see what happens.
All right, guys, man. You guys be brilliant today, okay?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us on, sir. We'll see you soon.